Looked impressive, fair enough. But the man is a fake, okay? Do not buy the wolf tickets.
They're selling you all wolf tickets, people. You're eating them right up.
Do not accept the bullshit.
Jake Paul is in ruins after boxing experts have massively turned against him. Jake's secret is out. He's nothing more than a con man, manipulating fans into thinking he's a pro who belongs in the ring. Boxing legends, trainers, analysts, they're all coming for Jake Paul's neck. Mike Tyson called him a fraud. Tommy Fury said he wouldn't waste his time on a rematch. Even his own brother Logan seems to be distancing himself from the whole mess. Jake being Jake is fired up about the whole fiasco and he's lashing out. So what does this mean for his career? Is it going to come crashing down? You might want to stick around for this one because I've got the exclusive scoop right here for you.
Goes back to people just attacking Jake Paul and wanting to see me fail.
Jake Paul is in tears after the whole fight world has launched a verbal smackdown on him. The problem child's boxing career is crumbling faster than a TikTok trend. The fight world has caught on to Jake and pros are exposing him for posing as a real boxer. Jake Paul harder than a burnt marshmallow. And let me tell you, it's getting spicy.
It actually makes sense. I'm 52 years old. I'm in the age bracket of guys he fights. So, yeah, I could see him wanting to fight me.
Boxing pros haven't had any respect for Jake Paul ever since he entered the boxing scene a few years ago. Experts have been putting him on a blast for his bad choice of opponents, and this time they've really had enough. Come on, this YouTuber guy just comes into the sport, starts calling out everybody and their grandmas for a fight in the ring, and acts like he's the king? The fight world is done with Jake. Here's the thing, folks, while Jake Paul brought eyeballs to the sport, real boxing fans, the ones who bleed sweat and dedication in the gym, saw right through the facade. Jake's failure to prove himself against seasoned professionals has turned the entire fight world against him. Let's be honest, his skills in the ring are second to none. Now, I'm not saying he's just a YouTuber throwing punches blindly in the ring, but he's no pro level. You need to understand that there are levels to everything, and Jake hasn't reached the level where he steps into the ring with Mike Tyson and claims to knock him out cold in the ring. Boxing pros respect Mike Tyson like no other. He's the legend who paved the way for all those to come after him. The fight world isn't going to just sit around and watch Jake take verbal jabs at the boxing legend and call him a sick chicken. Remember the saying, keep your friends close but your enemies closer? The gloves are coming off. Now, to understand why the fight world is turning against Paul all of a sudden, you really need to get into the nitty-gritty of it. Let's rewind back a bit. It's 2020, and Jake Paul makes his pro boxing debut in the ring against Anderson Gibb. The athlete came out on top with an epic knockout win and took the fight world by storm. But the pros knew this win wasn't impressive. Anderson Gibb wasn't a real boxer, so taking him down was a walk in the park for Paul. Then came Jake's series of wins against retired MMA stars or NBA players. Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva. Yeah, these wins were great, but they didn't cement Paul's status as a legitimate boxer in the ring. Jake has been putting on a series of orchestrated charades for fans with hand-picked opponents. Of course, the 27-year-old in his prime will come out on top when he steps into the ring with athletes pushing their 50s. And let's be honest, Jake Paul's boxing skills are questionable at best. I mean, let's talk about his fight with Tommy Fury for a second. Fury's the only seasoned professional Paul has ever put up gloves against, and he's the one who handed Jake's butt back to him. The former Disney star was handed the first loss of his career right there, and then the moment he stepped up to fight pro.
I'm too big for you, you need to get on my level even though he's not even a boxer, but okay. He hasn't got a pair of balls, and that's what you need in this game, and he hasn't got them. And that's why he hasn't got in the ring with me yet. He can say what he wants about all this, oh yeah, you're not big enough to do it. He fought Ben Askren.
Yeah, boxing pros were stressing the need for Paul to fight a professional, but that wasn't a green flag for him to start firing shots at Mike Tyson. Jake had been shouting from the rooftops, begging Mike to fight him and give him the biggest fight of his career. This call-out sent shockwaves throughout the entire fight world. You don't just wake up one day and start poking the beast. Iron Mike is a dangerous man in the ring. This heavyweight titan has bitten off ears in the ring before, and don't even get me started on his brutal knockouts.
Beat Larry Holmes. I think that Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight of all time. I don't think anybody fucks with him.
Mike Tyson is the best heavyweight of all time. I don't think anybody fucks with him. Let's humble the crying kid in the ring. But this dirty move by Paul didn't go unnoticed by pros. Come on, calling out a 58-year-old? I don't what Jake's trying to prove with this one. Take the word from Andrew Tate.
I'm gonna fight Mike Tyson on Netflix. Would you fight Mike Tyson? There's no amount of money on the planet that can convince me to fight Mike Tyson. Prime Tyson would have ripped me apart in a boxing match. I'm not boxing. Perhaps if I was a boxer and I was heavier, maybe I can make a bunch of stories. The truth is I'm a kickboxer and it's his rule set and he was Mike Tyson. He would have beaten me, so to beat him when he's past his prime just feels dishonorable and I'd feel dirty.
Jake Paul was set to fight Mike Tyson in the ring on July 20th at the AT&T Arena. This highly anticipated bout fell into jeopardy and had to be called off due to Mike's health hiccup. I want to thank my fans around the world for their support and understanding during this time. Unfortunately, due to my ulcer flare-up, I have been advised by my doctor to lighten my training for a few weeks to rest and recover. My body is in better overall shape than it has been since the 1990s, and I will be back to my full training schedule soon. Jake Paul, this may have bought you some time, but in the end, you will still be knocked out and out of boxing for good. I appreciate everyone's patience and can't wait to deliver an unforgettable performance later this year. What Paul said next rubbed the entire fight world the wrong way. The problem child said, "I'm certain I'm going to win," he said. "I'm gonna fuck him up." Jake's claims didn't sit well with fight fans online as they hit out at the YouTuber turned boxer, especially considering Tyson's recent scare. One ex-user wrote, "War, bro just gained more confidence after a medical scare." A second tweeted, "Of course it's gonna be easy, he's 75 years old." A third added, "Why is anyone entertaining this trash?" A fourth slammed, "Lamau! Why is he always picking on retired or old fighters? Bro is a coward." Another commented, "Oh, what a hard guy, beating up an old man with health complications." This isn't just about Jake Paul's ego taking a hit. His downfall has bigger implications for boxing culture. Many pros argue that these celebrity boxing matches cheapen the sport, taking away the spotlight from dedicated fighters who grind day in and day out. Is this the end of influencer boxing as a whole, or it's just the Jake Paul hype train taking a hit? Jake made a grave mistake canceling his fight with Tyson and throwing Mike's health under the bus. Even worse, the Paul brother just announced a new fight in place of his Mike Tyson bout, and he just gave the internet another chance to clown him. So who's this new guy? Well, ever heard of Mike Perry? Unlike Jake's classic taste in opponents, this dude is neither old nor retired. He's actually an athlete in his prime, so Jake might actually be proving something this time. Now, his experience isn't in pro boxing, but Platinum Perry is still a seasoned professional. He began his fight journey as an MMA star in the UFC and had an impressive record of 14-8-0. Perry then decided to test his waters in the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship and was a hit. Yep, he's one of the best fighters in the league. And did I tell you he's undefeated too? This is a dangerous man right here who's not going to come to play. Now, Paul's finally got a good opponent on the other side of the ring, so the fight world doesn't have much to call him out on, right? Well, when you go from Mike Tyson to Mike Perry, you give people a clear opening to put you on a blast. Was Jakey scared? Did Mike make him tremble in his boots? Well, the fight is still on if Jake builds up the nerve to step into the ring with Iron Mike. Yeah, these two are set to fight on November 15th in Arlington, Texas, but Jakey needs to come out on top against Perry first.
Mike Perry is a fighter. Mike Perry wasn't necessarily the best jiu-jitsu artist or had the best wrestling. But there's not a fight that Mike Perry won't take. I've spoken to Mike Perry on several occasions, and he is the epitome of a real fighter. And he's an absolute star in the bare knuckle.
Mike Perry is a fighter. Mike Perry wasn't necessarily the best jiu-jitsu artist or had the best wrestling. But there's not a fight Mike Perry won't take. He is the epitome of a real fighter.
Jake Paul, I think he's made a tremendous mistake here because he's a real fighter. He's going to get in shape. He's not afraid to mix it up. And he's going to go right at
Jake Paul, I think he's made a tremendous mistake here because Perry is a real fighter. He's going to get in shape. He's not afraid to mix it up, and he's going to go right at Jake Paul. Sean O'Malley has shared his take on the upcoming fight, and he believes it's going to be a tough one.
Mike Perry versus Jake Paul. I think it's more of a competitive match. I think Tyson was just a little bit too, aged, weathered. But I think Mike Perry versus Jake Paul is a very, very interesting, very competitive fight. I think it would be the most competitive fight Jake's had outside of the Tommy Fury fight. I would be very interested to seeing it, and I'm excited to see it. I think it's actually happening July 20th, and I don't know where, but I want to go. Ooh.
But who does he have as his winner?
I think, God dang it, that's actually a tough fight to predict. because Mike's in it, but he's in bare knuckle. It is a different sport, different size space to fight it, different range. It's it's very similar but very different. Jake's been boxing, Mike's been bare knuckle boxing. You just don't get it.
Regardless of the winner, there will be a lot to unpack. The boxing experts will have their say. The memes will flow freely. And most importantly, Jake Paul's future in boxing will be clearer than ever. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how everything plays out. So there you have it, Fight World. What are your thoughts on the boxing experts turning against Jake Paul? Make sure to fill the comment section with your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more boxing news.